Are you leaving hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on the table because of how you're pricing your CNC work? And maybe you don't even know that you're doing it. In this video, I'm sharing 5 of the most common pricing traps, pricing mistakes that I see beginners make. If you want to make more money with your CNC, be sure to watch to the end of this video. I've got some great tips in here for you. Let's get started. Mistake number 1, thinking you are your target customer. This is a major mindset trap that holds so many people back, thinking that you are your target customer. It's that little voice in your head saying, I wouldn't pay that much for something, so why would someone else? This thought can really hold you back. In fact, many businesses go under simply because they don't understand this concept. You are not your customer. Think about it. You're not the person buying the product you're selling. For instance, I would never personally pay $500 for a set of cowboy boots. But the reality is there are thousands, maybe millions of people, just in Texas, of people out there that would gladly pay that much. And that's because they see the value in those boots that I don't. I live in the Midwest. Cowboy boots really aren't a thing. So when it comes to pricing and selling, it's not about whether I would pay that price or not. It's about finding the customer that's willing to pay $500 for cowboy boots. So I remember the first time I had to come up with a price for one of my CNC products. And honestly, it felt very uncomfortable. Like I was asking too much, or maybe even undervaluing my work. How do I have a reference to even know? The worry was real, and I kept second guessing myself, thinking for days, wondering if anyone would actually pay this price. But then I realized something. If I didn't price my work to make a real profit, I'd just be breaking even, or worse, running at a loss. I needed to think beyond covering just my basic cost. It's such a trap that people fall into. I just need to cover my material cost, and then the rest is profit. That's not true. Pricing has to reflect more than materials and labor. It needed to value my time, my expertise, and support the growth of my business. There's so many pricing scenarios that pop in my head, and just remembering the real feeling, the agonizing of like, is this enough? Is this too much? I don't want to leave money on the table. And so one time with a wholesale client, which wholesale typically is 50% less than retail. So if you can find the retail price of what they're going to charge for it, that's a lot easier. But if you don't have any reference to go off from, you really have to kind of work backwards. And so I remember these walnut wooden cracker trays that I was selling to a client in Texas. Material cost, I had roughly $2 into them. And so I had $12 to work with per tray, with my labor cost, with my all my other costs accounted for cost. And so that's how I did it at the beginning. I was like, okay, there's enough meat on this bone for this to work out. So I pitched them. I said, hey, I can make these for $14 a piece. They said, great. It worked out for me, worked out for them, made money, and that's how I did it. But this brings me to mistake number 2, not making a profit beyond cost. In that scenario, if I was just to go with my hard cost, I probably would have been at let's say an $8 to $10 price point. If I went with my hard cost, like, okay, I have this much into materials, wood, finish, and then I have this much into labor, figure that out, I would have probably been at $8 to $10. And I would have left $4 per board on the table. And that would have meant, obviously I've been less profitable, but 2, I wouldn't have had any money to grow the business into what it is today. So with all that, if you take one thing from this video, make it this. You must make a profit beyond your cost. Not just covering materials and labor. Those are the basics. Those are a given. True profit is what allows a business to operate and grow. Your side hustle needs funds to operate beyond its direct cost, or else it's not sustainable. This is so important, and this is why I created a pricing cheat sheet, a free pricing cheat sheet for you. You can get it down in the description below. It's here to help you get clear on your cost and build in the essential profit margin. Business success relies on profitability, so do not skip this step. Head to the description below, click that link, and get the free pricing guide and use it to build profit into your products. Make sure they're profitable beyond all else. All right, mistake number 3 is understanding perceived value. Now, let's talk about something that can make pricing feel like a mystery. It is what makes pricing feel like a mystery. Perceived value. Value is a personal thing. Each person sees it differently, and that's what makes pricing so difficult. But it's also the reason it works. Think of it this way. Every purchase someone makes is value-based. When I say value, I'm not saying bargain. What I'm saying is it a good value? Like what I'm getting versus what I'm paying, is it a good value? Let's say someone buys a Rolls Royce. I know this is a crazy example, but they're buying it because they see the value in it for them. Whatever they're getting out of that, it is worth the money that they're paying. Now, someone else might buy a Toyota Corolla for a lot less, but for the same exact reason, it feels like a great value for their money. Both purchases are perceived value, just in different ways. So if someone says, I can't afford it, what they're really saying is, I don't see the value in it. And that's okay. This either means that they're not your target customer, or maybe you need to do a better job of conveying the value of what you're offering. It's not about changing the price. Changing your price is not a good strategy. It's about finding the right customer and communicating your product's worth to them so that they see the value in your products. The next mistake I see is not getting payment up front for custom work. When you're doing custom work, always get a deposit. A full deposit, 100% preferably, but get at least a 50% deposit up front before starting any of the work. And this isn't just about getting the money, even though, yes, that's important and it can help with material costs and upfront cost. But the real reason for getting a deposit is securing the commitment from the customer. People change their minds all the time. Without a financial commitment, there's much more likely for someone to walk away from a project if they get cold feet. Like you're talking to them and they're like, yes, I want to do this. Fast forward a month and they're like, nah, not really. There's nothing worse than pouring hours of work into something only to have a customer disappear when it's time to pick it up. They never come and get it. And you're out all that time, all that money, and no buy-in. So protect your time and resources. Getting that deposit means they're serious and you're not left hanging if they back out. All right, mistake number 5, not striking while the iron is hot. This is all about taking action while the opportunity is right in front of you. While the iron is hot, while it's heated, you need to strike it to make a move. When a customer shows interest in your product or service, you need to get them a price as soon as possible. Don't drag your feet. I see people hesitate all the time here. Hesitation leads to lost sales and lost opportunities. And usually it comes down to the lack of confidence. But think about it. We spend all this time. I wish I had customers. I wish I had more customers. I want people to buy my stuff. We spend all this time and effort trying to attract customers. So when we do attract a customer, we can't afford to get cold feet and ho-hum around and not know and not have confidence. We need to act, strike while the iron is hot. And again, that's exactly why I made this pricing cheat sheet, to help you respond with confidence. You can lean on the numbers you come up with. My exact formula that I use is inside, and that way you have faith in your numbers, faith in your pricing. Finally, don't be afraid to follow up with the customer. You don't want to spam them, harass them, but if you're waiting on the customer alone to follow through, you're likely leaving money on the table. Sometimes a simple follow-up can seal the deal. So stay proactive, stay curious, and always lead with value to your customer. If you found this video valuable, go ahead and check out that pricing cheat sheet that I put together for you. It's designed to take the guesswork out of pricing and help you approach your CNC projects, how to price them with confidence. There'll be a link down below. Remember, it's not about what you'd pay or whether you see the value. It's about creating value, finding your target customers, and operating with a profit-first mindset. Hit that like button if this was helpful. It really helps me know if this content is what you want. Subscribe for more tips, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.